Hey, good morning. This is Jonathan Jenkins, your next congressman for Western Maryland. So, according to the Biden administration and the congressional Democrats, we're not to use the I word, invasion. Right now, I'm thinking of another I word, idiots. An invasion is going on. However, unbeknownst to many, the invasion did not actually start in Ukraine last night. It actually started in 2014 when Russia took over the Crimea, which was roughly, I think it was around 7% of their total territory out there, including most of a coastline. By the way, when Biden was at the White House, nothing got done. And since that invasion, there has been over 13,000 Ukrainians killed and over 30,000 wounded. Putin is simply continuing his effort to rebuild the Soviet Union by continuing the annexation of the Ukraine. With Trump out of office, Putin will certainly take advantage of this opportunity. Putin sees America as weak, and especially Biden and our Democratic-led Congress. Putin remembers the taking of Crimea, and Biden did nothing when he was in the White House. He observes our woke Congress in general is focusing more on trannies and CRT within the military than actually preparing for war. We need to now prepare ourselves for Biden to start acting like Jimmy Carter and Neville Chamberlain. How so? He's going to appease and hope. Jimmy Carter, if you remember back, he actually was in negotiations for things that weren't his. He was willing to give away a good chunk of Europe to the Soviet Union, just not to have a fight. Again, very weak. Thank God Reagan came in after that and shut that down and ended up shutting the USSR down. So no, thank you, Jimmy Carter. Biden, don't act like him. Biden, you also got to stop acting like Neville Chamberlain. Neville Chamberlain, for those who need a history lesson, he's the fellow that appeased Hitler by giving away part of Czechoslovakia. The hope was, oh, let Hitler just take that, then he's going to stop. We don't need a world war. We don't need to do anything else. No, he was just setting the tone there and then went forward. So Biden, bad leader, bad leadership, served with Carter many years in different capacities, probably doesn't know Neville Chamberlain at all, but he probably should. Okay. Now, with a feeble president, we need a strong Congress. Unfortunately, we don't have that right now. And we especially do not see that with my opponent and current Congressman, Davy Trone. He will remain silent and invisible like he's done for his first couple of years here. He doesn't even have campaign offices in so many areas. It's insane. Doesn't care, absent. He will not stand for our Ukrainians either here or abroad. He too is weak. He's a beta male who will go along to get along. The time is not for politicians, but for true servant leaders. As your congressman, I don't care what political party's in the Oval Office. I would be demanding we stop Putin at all cost. This is not a Republican issue, nor is it a Democratic issue. This is an issue of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. A free and vibrant Ukraine can only positively affect the entire region. Now, as a Marine and your next congressman, I do not believe this is yet a fight where we need to commit ground troops. However, as your next congressman, here is exactly what I would champion if I was in there right now. First, stop the invasion on our home soil first by closing our border, and anyone that has been let go nilly-willy throughout the country, start pulling those people and chucking them out. Also, we need to start up our pipeline. Let's start the XL pipeline again and then shut down what? Shut down Nord Stream 2. And I would do these immediately. He can actually do that today if he wanted to. I would also now get a little tactical. I want to present a stronger naval force in the Black Sea. Right now, the Russians are very, very heavily armed there. They're definitely going to be supporting any efforts into Ukraine. We need to distract them. We need to bother them. We need them to understand that they can be hit in the back while they're trying to do anything inside Ukraine. The other things I would want to do is I want to definitely increase intelligence support and weaponry. Yes, there's a couple things that are out there, but typical fashion, Joe does not like getting involved. Remember, he was the only one in the room that didn't want to kill bin Laden. He is weak and he's not going to support any of our friends worldwide. So when I say increase intelligence support and weaponry, I mean mass increase intelligence support and weaponry. I believe we need a team with NATO and allies in the region to now work with the Ukrainians to bolster their defensive posture. This is not an American war. This is something that we need to all, as worldwide, need to push back on Russia. But when it comes to things in the area, the Ukrainians need to fend for themselves as much as possible. They need to have a will to fight, and they need to have the means to fight. Let's go, NATO and the allies, to give them the means as much as possible. Now, we also have to worry about the humane side. Absolutely. We need to work with NATO and, again, once again, the allies in the region to prepare for temporarily receiving Ukrainians that need to flee. I was messaging one of my good friends there. She was a missionary in Ukraine for a while, and they're already looking at orphanages right now and how they can get them out of there. This is becoming very serious very quick, and there are people on the ground that are already starting to move out. This is no joke. All right. The other things I want to do, I want to work with NATO to also bolster their eastern positions. I think that's extremely important. So NATO's got some work cut out. It is in their best interest to look to their east, start protecting other NATO members, and really thinking what could happen here if it goes really crazy in Ukraine and then Putin wants to march in even faster and further. And finally, absolutely extreme sanctions against Putin, his generals, banks, and any industry that directly supports their military. I think we need to be a little bit cautious, right? Because we don't want to disrupt life when it comes to like healthcare and stuff like that within there. But at a certain point, we need to put the squeeze on. Let's do it the right people first, hyper focus, and then expand out if we need to. Anyway, please know I will continue to monitor the situation and talking more to the Ukrainian community. I have actually some conversations today. So what I ask you to do, please sign up on voteforjenkins.us to follow me and the situation. We will get through this. We are here for our Ukrainian friends here and abroad. Do not hesitate to reach out to me if we can start talking about what we can do. God forbid we have to have a worse situation and we got to send stuff for people overseas. Anyway, thank you. God bless. And of course, Semper Fi.